Okay, so hopefully this is working now. So sorry about earlier, guys. This is a second stream. I had to get a new link going. So if you were in the previous one, jump in here. I think I got the microphone issue fixed up. So I just wanted to say thanks for joining me here. It is Tuesday, and we're gonna be taking a look at the new event since our the last season. So it's kicking off a new season, the Searing Sand season, and it's going to be a Water Slayer event. All right. And so what I wanted to do is I just want to kind of quickly go over the cards today. And I actually already opened the tiers. To be honest, I wasn't sure that I was going to be able to stream today, so I was thinking about actually just doing an offline video. But I decided to do it since I was able to get the time to stream it anyway. So I've got the cards. I opened up 3 tiers and I got 1 card from it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to give you my thoughts. Here's an example of a deck that I kind of came up with just as an experiment. But because I don't have the full deck, it isn't the final sort of team, if you will. But I think that this is a pretty strong team. So let's take a look at the cards here, and we'll see, what this is all about, because they said that this is like a new ambush mechanic. And so I'm going to try and explain what that means and what it's all about. And we can also talk about what are some of the options. All right. So this is the ultimate form, Lost Kingdom Guardian. So it's Arcane Killer. All right. So knowing it's Arcane Killer, there are some boost cards that are available also. So we'll explore that in a little bit. But we'll explore the battle skills of this deck first. It has a bunch of passive abilities and also battle skills, and so there are some things that we can do to make the most out of this deck. So the battle skill here creates 7 Power Gen 5s, and so this is a really good number of Power Gen 5s as a battle skill, but it doesn't create more than that. Not that it needs to though, because what it does is it doesn't depend on intensity. What it does is it'll create power gems and then it'll heal also. And then if you're in an ambushed state, then it will create 7 additional water power gen 5s. And it also delay the enemy by 1 turn. But I think that only happens when you're ambushing. And so we'll talk about what ambush means, all right? So it's 7 Power Gen 5s with a possibility of Power Gen, basically 7 with a possibility of 14. And if you take a look at the passive ability, it has Haste. So Haste is coming back. And if you think about it, ever since Gem Crush, Haste is kind of like a weird thing where most decks always have the haste already, where your battle skills available on turn 1. But what that does now is any decks that have haste as an ability automatically get a 20% attack increase. Okay, and so you automatically get the attack increase, but only on the first turn. So this is a deck that's all about giving you as much damage boost as possible on the first turn. And so we got haste. Then there's ambush. So ambush comes into effect when you activate the skill for the first time. So it doesn't have to be the first turn, it's just the first time you activate. So you can go on the entire battle and never activate the battle skill, and the haste ambush will not be activated. But as soon as you activate it, then ambush passive ability kicks in, but it's only that one time because it only happens the first time you use it. After the first time, it goes away. So what that means is the battle skill for creating up to 14 power gems is only available 1 time. It's a one-time deal. The first time you activate it, you'll get 14 Power Gen 5s. After that, it drops down to 7 and never again. Doesn't create more again. So it's very important to understand this mechanic, because it really is sort of like, your first attack is going to be the most powerful in the entire fight compared to the rest of the turn. So this is a very heavy focus on the first attack. Not first turn necessarily, just the first attack. It has additional passive abilities. It also gives you a revive. And then it also says if you have 3 or more battle skills activated in the same turn, then you also increase the attack by another 100%. So if you do everything on turn 1, you get 100% plus an additional 20, so 120% attack boost on the first turn because of haste and the rallying waves. But there's no additional boost based on intensity or any other boosts there. And also, it is a good leader now because it will give you 300% damage and 600% health for all Water Slayer heroes. So now it is more beneficial for you to use this card as the leader, and any other Water Slayer cards you should put in there because you're going to get the additional health boost. So overall, this is a good deck here, and this card has a 2-turn cooldown. So you can basically say, well, 7 Power Gem, 14 on the first time, and then 7 Power Gem for 5s after that every 2 turns. It is pretty good. Then we have the Master Collection card, Aegea, Cunning Conjurer, which is has the similar ability in that it creates 7 Power Gem 4s, heals for 2000%, and then creates additional 7 when ambushing. So again, when you activate it for the first time, it'll create 14 Power Gem 4s. And then the passive ability is the same. The first time you activate it, it doubles it gives you additional effect. And then this is the card that also has the revive, and that's the only other passive ability it has. Okay, and then the ultra rare card gives you the other part of it, which is the Watcher of the Waves. And this also creates 7 Power Gems, but creates Power Gem 5s. So far, we have 3 cards that already create up to 21 Power Gems just on their own. All right. And when you activate them for the first time, you're basically creating 32 Power Gems. You're filling up the board, but then because of Gem Crush, it's all going to get crushed in the middle. And so there's a lot of Power Gems spawned in the very first time you activate them. And this has also the passive ability to give itself 100% damage, attack boost, but it gives it itself rather than the whole team. And so I would say that, we've seen this before. We've seen decks that has its own attack boost and everything else, but in the meta today, it's still not strong enough. Okay. And so what I will say after taking a look here is that it looks good. It looks great on paper, and the skills are definitely desirable in that it's a 2-turn cooldown deck, but it isn't going to be as strong as you think it would be unless you can boost it with another card that has the Arcane Killer boost, because everyone else is going to be running at that event. And so just running it by itself, you'll get pretty good damage output on the first turn just because of the number of Power Gems you'll get. But then after that, it's going to basically be consistent, and it's not going to be that great compared to if you have a boost. All right. And so now let's take a look at the other cards. So we have the support card Watchman Ioneo. So this card is the support card, and its battle skill is kind of interesting. So I need to explain this. So basically, you cast what they call a protective ward, and it lasts for 2 turns. And when the enemy attacks you when the ward is up, the first time it attacks you when it's up, you're not going to get any damage. And only 1 word can be active at a time, and so that basically means that if you're running multiple support cards, you just want to activate it one at a time, and it has a 6-turn cooldown. So what I don't know is whether or not it resets after 6 turns. So let's say you activate it, you're basically getting immunity, okay, over a period of 2 turns with a 6-turn cooldown, but it says the first time. And so what I don't know is if after the 6-turn cooldown, when you activate it, if you're going to get the immunity again. I have not tested yet, so I don't know whether that's true or not. But if it doesn't reset, this makes this card really useless because you basically just get the one. You basically just get the one immunity, and that's it. So it doesn't make sense. I would imagine that it is going to be reset, but we'll have to test that out for sure. There's also the passive ability where every time you attack, you create 6 water gems. And so this is where the gems spawn is going to come from when you just attack. So when you activate it, it's not really going to do much. So this is one of those cases where the support card, the battle skills is really kind of not really useful because it also has a very long cooldown. And it also dispels thorns, but there's a lot of cards that dispel thorns now, so that wouldn't be something that I would be too worried about. And let's take a look at the event cards. So event cards are getting more relevant again, which is a good thing. So the event card in this case is a High King Acdennis. And this card is very similar to the Master Collection card. So it will give you 5 Water Power Gem 4s, and then it heals also. And it doubles on the first time you use it. So you basically get 10 Power Gem 4s the very first time you activate it. And so if you think about it, the only difference between this card and the Master Collection card now is that it has 400% attack damage boost instead of 800, and it creates 5 instead of 7 Power Gem Force. So it's slightly weaker, but it's a very good Power Gem spawner. So as event cards go, this is actually pretty good. I'm kind of bummed I didn't get it, but I think that it's decent. It doesn't have Revive though, so it just gives you the 20% increased attack on turn 1. So you're gonna have to bank everything on turn 1 if you really want to, but I doubt that the people who are playing are going to be using this deck and use it on turn 1. Although we can test it out, I just don't think that it's going to be as good as if you have a boost card in there. So the thing to remember here is this passive ability for Ambush will only apply to the cards themselves. It doesn't help the team. Okay, so this is not a deck that will boost the whole team. It's a deck that really just boosts itself, each card from themselves essentially. And so you will, whenever you activate the cards, if you activate in a different order, you're going to get the benefits on different times. And so you might want to strategize around like maybe not activating everything all at once, because you might want to preserve the fact that you can create up to 14 power gems in one shot. And so you may not need to activate all of them, but you want to activate 3 the thing is, you want to activate 3 battle skills. If you have the ultimate form, you want to activate 3 battle skills, because when you activate 3 battle skills total, you're going to gain 100% attack boost. You're doubling the amount of damage that you'll be able to do. Okay, and so these are the things to think about. You want to activate 3 battle skills. You don't necessarily need to use up all your power gem spawning skills necessarily. Just make sure you have 3, and then you can get pretty good attack boost. So what's nice here is you're gonna give the benefits to all of the Water Slayers, and you're going to be able to boost yourself using any cards in there that can activate battle skill. Okay, and so here's a deck that I kind of was playing around with just because I wanted to take advantage of the fact that, hey, I got the Master Collection card, so that's really good. I could get 17 Power Gem Force on the very first time I'd use it. And Frozen Devastation is the other Arcane Killer Water Slayer Arcane Killer card that I do have that can also give you attack boost. This card can give you a nuke, which is good, and if it gets boosted by other cards, then the nuke damage will still be helpful. And then Combat Ready Crew is another Water Slayer card that gives it creates 8 Power Gem Force. Okay, and so it's kind of crazy where it's 4 Power Gem Force and doubles if you have 50% health. And we used to think that's a great number. 5 to 10, 8 to 10 Power Gems is pretty good. But now we're getting 14 in one shot. All right. Without intensity, that is. Like, there are the cards that create more with intensity, but this one can create on its own. So I think that overall, 2-turn cooldown, not a bad deck at all. Okay, so the thing is, because of the first event of the season, it's going to be difficult to store the coins to be able to purchase the missing card. And so I wish the best of luck to you guys. Now let's take a look here at the deck in action. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use it on the Legend Trial. So what I want to do is just, I want to try this mechanic out. And I want to see, is there one that I can use right now? I guess I can go against Surtur, and I can use Surtur. I'll still have 295, so let's go ahead and do this. Okay, so we'll go ahead and use Surtur with our water deck, and I'm going to change the team up a little bit. And the other thing to note too also is the relic also is, if you are looking for the relic, they've changed it once again. So if you wanted to look for the relic, you don't search under Arcane Killer anymore. You have to search it under Water Slayer. So they've changed it. So if you take a look, Water Slayer is where now the new relic is going to be. Okay, they sort of changed it. Although nothing else has really changed about it, is that you still need Arcane Killer, Slayer Arcane Killer on the team in order to get the gems, and also it does break the Arcane Shield and all that stuff. And so all of these things are are still the same. You just where you search from is going to be different. All right, so let's take a look at the team that I do have here, right? So the team that I originally set up, I was trying to take advantage of the passive gem spawn ability to take advantage of the fact that, hey, I could passively spawn a bunch of gems, and then I could, basically create a ton of water power gems to override them. So that's one option, right? And I chose green and light just so that I don't end up creating too many green power gems on the board, and then they start like crushing and stuff like that. And so that's one idea. And the other thing that I was thinking about is, putting in jailers. So jailer is definitely an option. But what I want to do in this particular case is I want to test out the support card. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to test the water card. I'm going to use the arcane killer, and I'm going to just kind of add it in here. Although I don't have enough coins to level up just yet, I think I can use this just for the battle skill. So what I want to do is I want to know whether or not it resets. So we can take a look here, okay? And so, sorry, I haven't been able to respond to any of the chats here. I'm seeing you guys asking some questions and probably just kind of generally talking about it. Hopefully this is useful and helpful, but let's go ahead and test out the deck here. So again, if you're going to have it's best now to use the event cards for the leadership, because it gives you Slayer. Well, it gives you the health and attack boost for all the cards that match, like whether it's Slayer or Commander. And so it's better now than the older cards. They switched this around last event, and then they are keeping it looks like, for this event. And so I think this is the better option. So using this as a leader is going to give you the most benefit. And so what we got here is I'm using Savage Swarm to give me the passive gem spawn. If you used your coins from the last season to get the ultra rare card or the team, this is going to be useful. You don't have to use it. I think that, with this setup here, I'm not getting any boost, and so it's actually not going to be that powerful. But really, this is just, I wanted to show you the mechanics here. So you see here, you can see here the icon up above my Master Collection card. This is telling me that I have Ambush available, okay? And it's going to stay there until I activate my battle skill. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit one more turn. I'm going to use the battle skill of the support card, because what I want to do is I want to test out its mechanic and see if I'm going to be able to get a immunity every time I activate. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and activate this now. So this is going to give provide the protective boost, or protection ward. So there's 2 turns. Okay, so basically this reduces damage again. So basically this will prevent the damage the next time my enemy attacks. And so the question is whether or not this is going to be applied every 6 turns, because if it does, then that's fine. It just basically means it's immunity that's spans over 2 turns, as opposed to immunity that lasts for just 1 turn. And so let's go ahead and just keep trying this out. So we got the immunity from that one, and then we will see again in 6 turns whether or not that's going to be the case. So that's really what I'm looking for here. And you can see here I've got my passive gem spawn, and so the idea is when I create the power gems, and I have 3 water cards here, so I'm definitely going to be activating 3 times here. What that's going to do is that's going to give me the attack boost up to 100% for the card itself. So my Master Collection card is going to attack more. All right, so I think maybe there's just one more turn remaining before the support card is going to be available. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for the boss to attack again, and then we'll see whether that's going to work or not. But maybe one additional, yeah, it looks like one more turn, which is fine. So one more turn, that means that the boss is going to attack the next turn anyway. All right, so let's take a look now, and it should activate. And now let's go ahead and activate this battle skill and then see. Okay, so we have, it should work theoretically. So that I think that's just the wording then. So let's just confirm if it works out, then we will know for sure. So let's take a look. We get the attack. Okay, so it is immunity every time it's just that they make the terminology a little bit confusing. It's just so that if you're using it in commanders, even though you have this available for 2 turns, because in commander it will always attack, it will only work 1 time. So you only get attack boost, you can only get immunity 1 time, but you can activate every 6 turns. That's what it means. Okay, so let's go ahead and activate all of our battle skills. So we're going to activate 3. So you can see now I'm going to get 14 power gem force, and the ambush goes away. All right, And this sucks. This really sucks. I guess I'll do this. I had that one really shiny power gem up there. And you can see here though, I actually got my combat ready crew actually did the most damage there. But every 2 turns I'll be able to activate. So the first time I did it, it was 14 power gems, and now the second time I'm going to activate, it's going to be just 7. Okay, so let's take a look here. So it's going to be 7, right? So it's not like, you know, it's not like 7 is nothing. It's just that it's not going to be as good as the first time you ever use it. And so remember, keep in mind that this deck, once you've activated battle skills, you're not going to gain any more power gems. There's no other way for you to get more power gems with this deck. And so you're going to be getting 7 power gems, and that's the flat number for all of the for basically the entire rest of the fight. So in terms of damage, though, it actually isn't too bad, right? And what's nice here is the Frozen Devastation deck is also is a 2-turn deck. And actually, I didn't need to do that. It also is a 2-turn deck, so what you're getting here is you're getting every 2 turns you can activate Frozen Devastation and the event cards, and so you're gonna be able to get some pretty good damage out there. Okay, so let's try and see if we can do 4 turns before time's up, because I want to be able to use my combat ready crew as well. So let's go ahead and do this. We actually did relatively decent damage, considering that I don't really have any killer bonus. Yeah, so I need one more turn. With all the power gems here, I'm trying not to destroy them by accident. So I guess I can just go ahead and activate now. Okay, so let's go ahead and activate now, and let's see how much damage we can deal with this setup here. I don't know that I'm going to add the support card in there. It's just that the support card does Dispel Thorn, and so it is going to be important if you don't have a deck that can really take care of it. Oh, that was really close. But most of the damage actually came from my my combat ready crew. And so really simple deck to use, actually. So I wouldn't use combat ready crew if you don't have it, and also, like, you know, if you have... I would use more of the event cards, to be honest with you, because it's a 2-turn deck, and so I just don't have it, right? I don't have the event card. I only have the Master Collection card, so that's what I'm going to be using. But with the 2-turn cooldown, if you can get like a passive ability, that would be pretty good. Now let's go ahead and see what happens if we add in, like, let's go ahead and add in a jailer. Okay, so if we add in a jailer, right, so this is the other option that you can do. So if you were to go ahead and do this, right, so you would put in, you put in jailer, and then you probably put in the ultra rare card in here. So this option, what this will do now is this is going to give you an attack boost for your water deck. And relics wise, you're gonna want to power up a little bit. And so what I'll do is I'm just going to change this to Arcane Killer, and I'm going to add in 1 right here. Okay, and so let's take a look and see how much damage output now we will be able to get. So I'm going to go ahead and do 1 more time. And what we're going to do is we're going to just knock down the armor, and then we're going to try this again. Okay, and so if you can boost this deck, you can definitely get a lot of power out of it, because with jailers, you're going to be at 24. If you get jailers plus ultra rare card or another card there, basically if you can boost it twice, you're getting 2400 damage boost. Okay, and that definitely is going to be quite a significant amount. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna focus on trying to get the armor down as quickly as we can. Okay. And so let's go ahead and do this. We need to attack quickly here. But now the problem here is I don't really have a lot of gems here, and so I can actually use this, which is fine. I'll just use Frozen Devastation because what it's going to do is I can activate every 2 turns anyways. So let's go ahead and do this quickly here and see how we can do. In terms of damage output, it definitely is very strong, right? I think that compared to other water decks I've seen so far, this one is pretty decent. And so the only thing is there's a big difference between whether you have the boost or not. So a deck that contains the boost will be super powerful, and compared to one that doesn't use the boost. Not to say that the one without the boost is not strong enough. It's just that it's going to it's just going to definitely be at a disadvantage when you compare it against, you know, other people who are playing it with jailers, for example. And I didn't actually do any, actually take out any armor there. So let's try and take this out quickly. So it is a little slower because I'm only attacking really mostly with my water cards, but if I can get the earth cards to attack, that'd be good. And so the thing here is intensity doesn't really mean anything. I'm still trying to see like just exactly what intensity will do for Arcane. I think they've sort of now gone away from intensity building, which is interesting because if the deck itself doesn't really require intensity anymore, so why do we still use it? I think it's so that if you have older decks that still require intensity to create more power gems, you can do that. But this whole deck, there's no intensity benefits, right? So you can basically go on forever in a fight and you're not going to get any benefits, right? You're not going to get any additional, you're not going to gain any additional power gems or damage boost or anything like that. All right, I just need one more match, right? All right, so let's do this. Okay, so now that we have this, let's see how much damage our card is going to have. And so what I need to do is I need to create this, and then I'll go ahead and do this, and then I'm gonna go ahead and activate here. And now let's see how much damage we can deal with this. All right, so now we've got the boost. We got a bunch of power gem upgrades, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and use this. It's too bad it kind of didn't get as big of a cluster. Okay, so we got pretty good. You can see the damage difference there. So 2.3 trillion coming from my Frozen Devastation, as opposed to back it was what, a couple hundred billion, right? And so Welling Deep, is this Gen 5? I have no idea. Right, I feels like they've sort of switched it around a little bit again, but you can see with jailers in there, the damage went like straight through the roof. Okay, and so with a true two-turn cooldown, and with the possibility to boost the deck, this is a really strong team for sure. The other option, if you don't have jailers, is to use fire. And the fire arcane is going to be using Hilaria, so it's the same idea. It's just that with this particular case, though, intensity does matter, right? Because this is all about building up intensity to get as high as you can. Whereas with jailers, it's just the first time you use it. And so the thing with jailers is it has a 6-turn cooldown also, but with the revive and also with I think there you can also heal quite a bit here. Every time you activate, you're healing yourself. Okay, so every time you activate a Master Collection card, Ultimate Form, and I don't think you heal with Support card though. You're healing, and I think even Event card, right? So Event card heals, the Master Collection card heal, the Ultimate Form card heal. So you're gonna be able to heal a lot, and so you're gonna be able to wait the 6 turns between jailers. Like, if you're fast, right? If you can swap really fast, you can get your turns to end really quickly, this deck will be super strong. And, like, you may not even need 2. You may not even need jailers and also the, you may not need 2 of the jailer cards. 1 might even be sufficient. But you can see here, without the attack boost, I was able to get 2.3 trillion with my Frozen Devastation. It's, it's a pretty strong deck. It is definitely pretty strong. And with the... you saw there, right? You can save your ambush. Like you should save your battle skill, and you take advantage of that so you can get one big giant attack right from the start. Can't really do outlining the different generations. Yeah, so like they're not coming out to say that it's Gen 4, Gen 5. Like as far as they're concerned, it's still Generation 3, but it is definitely a very different feel to this whole mechanic again, right? So once again, in terms of the deck itself, the review for my review here is that the deck is very versatile, very playful. Like it's useful, right? You can activate every 2 turns. Any deck that's a 2-turn cooldown is good. 1 is the best, and 2 is really good. All right, and it can have a lot of power gems just on the first time you activate it, but I think that it works in a lot of different situations. You can put any Water Slayer card in there and it will be useful. I think I prefer this to sort of like the previous iteration where you had to put in the cards that have the killer skill in order to be good. Although the meta still is, you use the event, you would use the event deck, right? In this particular case, you would use the event deck in Jailers, you're good, right? People who want to run golems can, right? So if you have, but you need to have the event ultimate form. You use the ultimate form, golems, and then you put in combat ready, not combat ready crew. You put in what's water immortal. Water immortal is escaping my mind right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a look. Water immortal, I guess Apex Predator. No, I think that's Beast. So water immortal is Slayer. Oh, it is Apex. Okay, so you could use Apex Predators with golems and the event deck, but then if you have the event deck, you should just go ahead with Arcane Boost. I think you're going to be if you have Jailers, that is. If you have Jailers, you shouldn't go with golems for sure, and you should. I mean, there's different options, but I'm just saying if you have Jailers, don't use any other options. It's going to be better than golems. And if you don't, then yeah, use golems and Apex Predators or any other water immortal. The other water immortal is also the Dreamers of Destiny deck. That is also water immortal, and I think yeah, that's it. Those are the two. And so I would say, you know, there's still some options available, and I think it works, right? So that's gonna be it for the review itself, and hopefully that helps. Like, so the immunity for the support card works every turn. I mean, every 6 turns, right? Every time it refreshes, it is gonna last for 2 turns. But as soon as you get attacked, then you don't get the immunity anymore. That's really what it means. The event card is a good one. 5 power gem force. And the first time you activate, it's 10, and it does heal. Master Collection card, Ultra Rare card, they're all good. These are all good options. The Ultimate Form, they're all two turns except for the support card. Works really well with Frozen Devastation, and works extremely well with Jailers. Okay, so it is a strong team. I think that if you get it, that you should do well. If you don't, then Frozen Devastation is going to be the option there. Hopefully you had a chance to get it, and it is also going to be available, I think, in the Proving Grounds. It's just not available just yet. So overall, pretty decent deck to go after for sure. And now, I have to be honest though, like I wasn't sure I was going to be able to do this, and I saw this earlier, excuse me, about the previous anniversary event deck. Or the event actually. I didn't actually make any videos because I was very disappointed in how it went, and so I wasn't sure that I was going to make a video today. Okay, that's how disappointed I was. But I thought that, hey, you know, people can still get benefits from me helping out with the description of the cards and kind of how it works and showcasing it. So I'm trying to put that behind me, but I didn't play much at all. I stopped playing after Friday for the 4th anniversary event. I have to say it, I'm extremely disappointed with how they've chosen to treat their players, and so I hope that they change. I hope things get better from here. It can only get better from here, to be honest with you. But you know, I'm just gonna focus on the deck mechanics from here on, and I'm gonna just focus on the previews for this. And so I'm not sure that I'm willing to continue making more between. I don't know if I have the energy to do so. So I'm just gonna focus on the event for now. So the next time I make this video is going to be the next event preview. So I want to say thank you very much for all of your support so far. It has definitely helped me, you know, grow as a content creator and also as a player and as a person. And so I just want to say thanks again for all of your support and all of the feedback and everything. I will continue to provide input and feedback and also help where I can. I'm going to step back a lot more in terms of creating content for this. I want to see how things go from here. So we'll see. Anyways, that's going to be it from me for today. Hope you guys have a good event. And, you know, the chat room that I have the link to in my description for the videos, that's where a lot of really, really good players are, you know, constantly swapping ideas, and they will help anybody who asks questions. So I highly encourage you guys to join the room and have some good discussions there. So thank you very much, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you.